Hey guys, Sinister here. Back today with actually my first video in the multiplayer online series that I'm going to be running. I've decided the first game mode I'm going to discuss is Invade and Annex. The reason for choosing Invade and Annex is I do believe this is the most beginner friendly game mode that you can start in Arma 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a fresh account. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to go through every aspect of the game mode from start to finish and all the different roles you can use. And then for some of the more advanced and key roles, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to provide some additional content that shows how you can practice them outside of the game. Now, before I get into this series and before I jump into the server, I want to do a very, very quick disclaimer on this video. As I've mentioned in my other videos and as I mentioned in my part 0, which is going to be up on the screen shortly, I am in Australia and I choose Australian servers to play on because it gives me the best online experience in terms of players online and ping. So on that topic, the server I have chose to play on is Straya Gaming's Invade Annex server. Now, just to remove any kind of prejudice or stereotype or anything like that, I am in no way associated with Straya Gaming. I just really enjoy playing on the server. I regularly play with people on this server throughout the week. It's a very consistent server that has anywhere between 40 to 80 players during peak time, so that's any time after 5 p.m. Australian Eastern. And at the weekends it's always full. So I play with the same people all the time. I am not a mod, I am not an admin, I am not a member of staff. I have no intention of doing any of those things. I am simply choosing that server because it is the one I enjoy playing on. I play on it the most, and I do honestly believe it is the most beginner friendly server. In addition, for choosing that server, because it is an 80 player capacity server and there is no pay to play mechanics on Straya Gaming, you generally can get onto this server at any time of the day, at any time of the week. The max I think I've ever seen it at is 77 out of 80 player slots. So I've never actually seen it hit the full 80. So you will never have difficulty entering the server. And in addition, there are players who play from all over the world on this server because it is so fun to play on. It is so new player friendly, and you'll just have a good time on this server. So that's why I have chosen this server. There is no reason. The last disclaimer I'm going to put on this video is that while there are no pay to play mechanics on Straya Gaming, certain slots, so I'm talking medic, fighter pilot, which is CAS, and transport pilot, do have means of being unlocked if you pay to play on the server. Now, they are available to all players on the game no matter what. However, if you do donate to the server, you can get a preference slot, aka whitelisted slot, on these roles so that you can get on them during peak hours easier. However, they are available to absolutely everyone. I have not donated to the server. I will be donating to the server, but I haven't as of the time of this video. And when I'm running through the tutorial series, I'll be doing it on a new account under a fresh alias, and I will have no benefits whatsoever to playing on the server. So I just want to get that out of the way. And right, let's jump into getting started in Invade Annex. Alright, now that we have the disclaimers out of the way, let's just open up this series by asking the question, what is Invade Annex? So the easiest way to answer this question is to just give you an overview of what it is. So it is a large scale PvE scenario. So what that means is a player versus environment scenario. So when I mentioned earlier that there are potentially 80 players on the map, all those players are on the same team. There are no enemy players trying to kill you. So, and when I say it's large scale, I mean it is the entire map. So the one I play on is the Altus version of the map, but there are every type of map variety out there for Invade Annex, and it uses the entire map and all its assets. So airfields, military compounds, you name it, it's all there. And it's player versus environment, but with a tweak. So what that means is that the AI, so that's the non-playable characters, so the people that are trying to shoot you, they're tweaked so that they're difficult to kill. They will flank you. They will throw smokes, but not to the point where their accuracy from 600 meters out with a shotgun will one-shot you. It's tweaks that the AI act intelligently. They make smart military decisions, and they use appropriate weapons and loadouts for what their type is. So there are medics, there are snipers, there are transport pilots on the enemy side. It gives you the full end-to-end military experience, which brings me on to my next point. It is a literal sandbox experience. You can be whoever you want and whatever you want at any time. So you can go in and you can be a sniper, or you can go in and you can load a shotgun and do close quarter combat. You can go in as a solo player, you can go in as a group player. You can do whatever you want and you will be rewarded. The particular server I play on gives you pretty much a full use of the arsenal. Obviously snipers get access to long scopes, medics get access to medikits and stuff like that. We'll go through that in a different video, but you get like 90% of the arsenal is yours. And so the arsenal just means is you can equip yourself with whatever weaponry you want, whatever support weaponry you want. So that's a pistol or a rocket launcher. You can equip yourself to be like a spec ops. You can equip yourself to be a diver, whatever you want. You have full access to all of it. So it gives you the full military experience. On top of that, you're playing on a huge map, which I already mentioned, but within that map itself, there are dynamic objectives. So there are basically two main objectives. There's the main AO, or area of operations, which is where, you know, a majority of the players will go, and that's how the map moves forward. You have certain mini objectives within the main area of operations, and once you've completed those objectives, the mission changes and you need to go somewhere else. But on top of that, there are also side objectives. So these side objectives are generally catered for smaller groups of players, you know, like maybe 2 or 3 guys, either with like, you know, a helicopter transport or maybe a tank support or something like that. And these side objectives, while they aren't necessarily related to the main objective, what happens is they give you very unique rewards. So you might be able to get like a Pawnee. A Pawnee is essentially a small helicopter with like machine guns and rocket launchers, and they give very, very unique rewards, and only the people who completed the side objective can claim those rewards. So it just adds another element of gameplay where if you just, you know, you want to rock up with 2 or 3 of your friends and you don't really want to just shoot AI over and over again, you can go and you can search for evidence or clues or these different objective types, and you can unlock really, really cool rewards. So that's another aspect of the game. Also, as a new player, you may not have friends in the game yet. Invade Annex caters for solo play. It's obviously not recommended. It is recommended that you just join the main group. Even if you've never played the game before, jump in, join the main group, have fun. But it is designed so you can jump in as a solo player having only basic grasp of Arma 3, and you can excel and have fun. And that is such a unique experience in today's gaming world that it's one of the standout reasons why I'd go in and play Invade Annex. Group play is rewarded more. Like I said, there are side objectives and you can communicate in group chat if you are in a group. But if that's not your thing, you don't want to communicate, you've had a shitty day at work and you want to go in and you just want to pop someone's head off from 2K with a sniper rifle, do it. No one's going to stop you and you're going to get rewarded and you're going to have a great time. I can fully relate to that experience. I do it all the time. The next thing is, because it's an open world, large scale, the objectives are constantly moving, you can jump in and out of the game whenever you want. If, you know, you come in, you finish work at 6 p.m. and you've ordered your KFC, you know, your Zinger Stacker burgers on the way, jump into the game for 20 minutes. Kill some people, do whatever you want. KFC comes, log off, eat your KFC, you know, get your can of Solo, have a beer, jump back on an hour later, and your character will be equipped and in the exact same location you logged out, with no detriment to your character whatsoever. It's so rare these days that you can just come in and enjoy a game and get the same experience no matter what time of day you log in on, and that's what I love about it. And then just to further compound that, if say you do want to do a long session, so you know the missus is off getting her hair done on a Saturday morning and you've got 3 hours to yourself, jump in, and there is a personal progression system. So there is, you know, your traditional scoring system like there would be on say a Battlefield or Call of Duty game, But you know, if you sit in a specialized roles, you're a transport pilot or you're a medic, or you know, you are doing the side objectives, you actually gain points in a system, and these points are visible to all players through a mini menu on the game. And so, you know, if you're transporting people regularly, or you're doing a good job, so basically you're landing your helicopter and you're getting people on the ground consistently and regularly, you will get transport points, which is visible on the leaderboard. But let's say you're not interested in that, you just want to do infantry gameplay and kill some bad guys, your kill count is also on the scoreboard. And this is like, if you kill a tank, you get more points. If you blow up a plane or a jet or a helicopter, you get more points than, say, someone who just shoots a bad guy in the face. So it's a really, really rewarding personal progression system. And just so people don't feel like they fall behind, the server is reset every 6 hours. So everyone's score is reset. Their progression is not. So whatever gear you had remains the same. But the score is reset. So you can just come in, come out whenever you want. And, you know, if you take a couple of days off and you feel like you've lost a lot of progress, well, you haven't. You can come back in and you can fight to be the number one person on the leaderboard if that's what you want, or if you just want to know how many points you can get in one session, measure yourself from session to session, you can do that and there'll be no repercussions for you. Okay, so now you've decided you want to join Invade Annex, see what it's all about. You have a brief overview of what the game mode is like. Let's jump right in. So like I said, I choose the Invade Annex server of Stray Gaming. If you don't understand how to get something on your favorites, make sure you check out the video down below and that will have all the details for you. So in order to join it, we're just going to click join, and as I am on a new account, you're going to see exactly what it's like from a new player experience. I have mods installed, but I don't have them loaded, so you won't get this screen. But if you do, just say set up DLCs and mods and join. So I will be back once the loading screen is finished. Okay, so as you can see, I've now loaded into the game. I am player 1 here. I don't need to select the role on the left hand side. It will automatically assign me a slot, so click OK. Of course, because this is a new account, I have to re-download the mission file, which is interesting. So as you can see, it's not very fast on Australian internet, and it is currently 94 megabytes. So I'll be back once this is loaded. Alright, I have downloaded the file and I am now loading into the game. This is what the load screen looks like. As you can tell, it is the Altus map. And let's let it load in. Alright, so we have made it into the home screen. So you will be greeted initially when you load into the game for the first time with the server rules. These are pretty self-explanatory. You can read them in your own time, but this basically means no team killing, no griefing, none of that stuff. So just don't do any of that stuff and you will be absolutely fine. Click continue. And then you'll be brought to this screen. I'm just going to close this, and I'm just going to, because for a moment, and then we can just discuss what you should do. So the first thing you should do when you log into the game for the first time is press the end button on your keyboard. The reason why I do that is it will apply the earplugs, and once you've applied the earplugs, all the background sound will go away. So you won't hear the helicopters, you won't hear the tanks, you won't hear the jets that are flying overhead. So then you want to familiarize yourself with where you are. Okay, so you can press right Control M to bring up your navigation system, and that will just tell you bring up a mini map on the left hand side. But also, this is the map, so you just press the M button on your keyboard to familiarize yourself with the map. So where you've spawned here is at the base, and when you spawn at the base, this is your center of operations. This is where every time you load into the game, you're going to spawn here. This is where everything you need in the game is, and every time you respawn, so when you die and respawn, you will also start here unless you're revived elsewhere. So let's have a look at the map. So you've got the Discord server details here. This is the side objectives I talked about earlier. So this particular side objective, you can see we have a team of 2 people, Salmon and Delta 4. There's also a helicopter supporting them over here, and their objective is to secure the radar. If we go a bit further out on the map, we can see there's a forward operating base here. We'll talk about that in a different video. And then there is the actual main objective here. So the main objective, actually, ironically, the side objective is just complete. So you can see it's now disappeared off the map, and we received a Hellcat, which is a unique spawn as a result. So what will happen is the Hellcat will now spawn at base, and these people that contributed to the mission, which is Delta, Silent, and Salmon, they will then be able to use that going forward to other missions. So at the moment, the main objective is over here on the map. And so this is where the big red circle is where the main area of operations is, and where the main engagements throughout Invade Annex will happen. So in this case, it's very far away. So if we just put a marker on the map and try and find that marker, it's currently 14 kilometers away. So how do you get to where you need to go? We'll talk about that in one moment. So we've familiarized ourselves with the basics of the map. We've put in our earplugs, which is the end button on our keyboard. And we've spawned in with an MX 6.5mm assault rifle. So what do we do now? From this point, you can basically play the game. Or alternatively, go over to one of these boxes. You see they have little ammo signs. There's several of them dotted around the place. There's one there, there's one there, there's one on the other side of this wall, and there's a couple over there as well. But this is the nearest one you're going to get when you respawn in. And if you use the scroll wheel on the top left-hand side, you will have Arsenal, and you'll have role selection. So I'm going to talk about each individual role in the next video, but just to get this started, these are all the different roles in the game: rifleman, auto rifleman, machine gunner, light anti-tank, heavy anti-tank, medic, engineer, Ironside, mortar gunner, sniper, JTAC, UAV, transport, whitelisted transport, and fighter pilot. So I'm not going to go into all of these. The defaults that everyone can spawn in is rifleman. As you can see, there's 80 slots. There's 9 auto riflemen, 3 machine gunners, etc, etc. So depending on the role, there are a limited number of slots for that particular role, but your default will spawn as a rifleman. So at this point, if you want to get to the AO, you just go out, you see what these guys are doing, you just wait here, and then a helicopter will land eventually, and it will drop you at the next objective, which is currently over here. If you however don't like, oh, this server is restarting, this is a bit awkward. And through the magical power of video editing, I am once again back at this box, although it is now nighttime as I've had some connectivity issues. Anyway, as I was saying, in role selection, you've got all these different roles that you can select. This entire series is actually going to be a walkthrough of each of these roles, what they do and what impact they have on the battlefield. So I'm not going to go into them into too much detail. But let's say you've played the campaign a little bit, or you've played a DLC, or you've played something. And you have like a favorite weapon or a favorite uniform or something that you want to use, you can change that within here, and you can use those weapons. You can use various different types of weapons and stuff like that. So you just go into the arsenal here, and once you're into the arsenal, you want to zoom out using your mouse wheel up and down to zoom in and out, and then you're going to want to rotate your character by using the right mouse button. And so for example, this says select what weapon you want. So let's say I want to use a Coslice 12G, which is a shotgun. I can do that there, and then on the right hand side I've got all different attachments that I can put on that. This particular one I can't put any attachments on, but let's say for example you have played the Marksman DLC, you'll have played with the Cyrus, and so the Cyrus obviously is a long range scope, and so you can put on a lot of different scopes and make yourself into a bit of a beast. So my favorite loadout, with the Cyrus is the Kalia scope and with a silencer, so I put that there. And so once you're finished with your loadout, so say for example you want to go and you want to get a Moz, so there's a Moz Mark IV, and then you want to get some ammo, whatever, blah blah blah. I'm not going to do an arsenal tutorial here, that's really for a different video. But let's say you've got this loadout, you click close, and you're like, oh yeah, this looks pretty good, I like this. Oh, what does my character look like? Press enter on your numpad to go into third person. So as you can see, I have my Moz, I have my Cyrus, blah blah blah. And if you like this loadout, simply go to Arsenal, click save, and then you can save it as Rifleman 1 or whatever you want. And then you can, and so if I save, I go Rifleman 1, and I click close, and then let's say for example I go to Arsenal and I accidentally put on an AK-7. Okay, so now My Cyrus is gone. I've just got an AK-7. All I have to do is go to my arsenal, go to load, and boom. I have my Cyrus back. So you can do that for pretty much anything. You can use that for different setups and do whatever you want. And if you want to go back to first person, just press enter again. That's it for today's video. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Really hope you appreciate it. Next video is going to go through the rifleman role in more detail, how to equip your character, and some of my favorite builds and suggestions to get started in the game. See you next time.